everyone, welcome to Fleet Equipment from the Floor, ACT Expo 2023, powered by Cummins. I am Jason Morgan, Content Director for Fleet Equipment. We have a great show for you. We're going to visit Hyliion, Shell, Valvoline. We're going to talk to GNA, the showrunner of the show, to see how this year panned out and what we're looking forward to next year. But first, we're talking with Puneet Chawar, General Manager, Global Spark Ignited Business for Cummins. Puneet, great to see you. Thanks for taking the time.
Thanks for having us, Jason. It's a pleasure seeing you again.
Yeah, so we're talking natural gas here, right? And you got the X15N. Let's just kick it off. Why is natural gas a decarbonization option? What's the benefit here?
So that's a great question, and we got asked quite a lot of that. I think the story around natural gas, including the renewable natural gas, is the right one. I think the industry's kind of seen a lot of different kinds of technologies come through. And renewable natural gas, or the natural gas, has been a mainstay for the last about 30 years. Granted, it's not picked up as we would like it to be, but that's because we didn't have this beast that is going to come across, which is the new 15-liter engine. And this is an engine which gets you the power, that gets you the torque that people have been asking, and the fleets have been asking, frankly, for a while. It is going to mimic the diesel torque curve that is there today, which means that if you've got a route which is long haul, it'll get you there. It'll go over the hills, it'll get you there, it'll not give you a loss of power. We've designed the engine in a way which gives you the power, the reliability that you've come to expect out of a diesel product as well. And then if you look at the infrastructure that's around, I think the infrastructure on renewable natural gas and natural gas is very, very close to getting to a point where you can drive a truck from cross country, from port to port and coast to coast, and you have enough refueling options. And then if you look at it, the carbon intensity of the renewable natural gas is negative, which means that it cleans up the atmosphere than it actually pollutes. So it's the right fuel to use, and that's the data that CARB publishes every so often. So that's why we think that it is a fantastic option which complements what we have, and it is a one-on-one replacement with diesel, which means that you don't need additional drivers, you don't need to change the operations that you run today. You can pretty much swap a diesel engine with a natural gas engine today, and then you could run it. It just takes a little bit of a working around with making sure that the maintenance is done all right. But other than that, it is pretty simplistic to kind of fit in the operations that we do today. So that's why we think it is a fantastic option for decarbonization for the long-haul, heavy-duty transportation industry.
Right, okay, a lot to unpack there. Let's start with, so this is part of the fuel-agnostic platform, right? Because we saw the hydrogen engine yesterday. Today we're looking at natural gas, lots of commonalities here. How else does this differ from Cummins' previous foray into the natural gas world?
So that's, again, a really good question that a lot of fleets ask, and I think that's the right thing to do is that, so yes, it is a part of the fuel agnostic platform that we have. So the first in line for us to launch is the natural gas engine, which is the one that you're looking here, which is the 15-liter, and then we come across with a renewable diesel engine platform later, and then certainly the hydrogen engine, which you saw yesterday. So I think why it differs is because we've the 30 years of experience that we've had in the industry, we've learned a lot. And our customers, our partners have been extremely gracious with their time, their effort, and the feedback on this. And the industry has kind of made a lot of progress in this as well. So what we've done is we've designed an engine ground up, which is completely for that particular fuel type. So this engine has been designed for natural gas, so the head is different. It's got a different geometry, it's got different pistons, it's got steel pistons, which everybody knows that's what is needed. And then so it runs at lower temperatures. So all of the learnings that we've had over the 30 years, we've packed it into this product. And we've like I said, we've designed it. We've not taken a diesel architecture and said, we want to use natural gas as a fuel now. We've said that we want an architecture which you could use specifically for gaseous fuels. So that's why this is different. And then the other thing is that our technicians, our training, our people, they've kind of got used to it. They've gotten better and better at it. And so we kind of bring all of that power in-house. And then the other thing that you see around here is the Eaton Cummins transmission, and then the final piece is the fuel delivery system as well. So the integration that we now bring in is the entire end-to-end solution, which becomes a one-stop shop for our OEMs and our fleets as well. And we're going to work with our channel to make sure that our people are able to take care of the product, they can kind of bring the product up to speed. Plus, of course, it is the fact that all our channel partners, all our technicians, and all of our Cummins people who are out there at the ground ecosystem, they'll be able to support this product as well, and all the products as well. Right. So I think that's why it's a great piece to say.
Yeah, let's walk, if you want to walk and just take a look, because I think one of the other things we talk a lot about too is all the new technologies come in. There's a lot of technologies you already know and are comfortable with, right? It's not a complete relearning of the whole system.
Yeah, so and I think that's why you look at this entire piece, is to say that if you look at the after treatment is a simpler after treatment as against to the diesel. We've tried to pull it away from the current products that we have because we didn't see failures around it. It's a robust product, and it's the right thing to do as well, is that why experiment what we do. The other thing why it is different is also that we've had global collaboration on this product. So this product is not just a North America product only. It's a global product for us. It's accrued a lot of miles across different platforms in the world, but that platform is the same. So which means that we've already have millions and millions of miles which is run across different geographies, which are strenuous geographies, and which are difficult duty cycles. And so we kind of know what it is. And then if you look at the fuel delivery system as well, so that's again been designed in a way to mind to say that how does this entire system kind of work together seamlessly, comes together as a unit, make sure that it is easy for a fleet to maintain, make sure that it's easy for a fleet to kind of work across, and then you've got the trusted Cummins support always, right? You can always come and hold our neck and hold us accountable, and we'll be there for you guys. So.
Right, well, and on that note, what have you learned on the ROI of this engine? Where would you look for that, and what should fleets consider in that world?
Yeah, that again is I think that is a very critical question in the things. The ROI on the natural gas engine in the olden days has not been typically the best. But we've seen strides and made on this one. So particularly on the residual value of the truck, we've seen the residual value of the truck go up as well. It has a very stable pricing on the fuel. And unlike in the diesel world where it fluctuates, this is a very stable pricing on the natural gas. And then with some of the alternate fuel tax credits and some of the other LCFS credits, if you look at it, the story becomes a lot cleaner for a TCO of a natural gas truck. The predictability of how you can plant your freight or how you can assess your freight becomes a lot easier because you now have the undulations that you had with the diesel pricing just went away. And then if you maintain the vehicle, it's got a very predictable maintenance schedule as well. So we think that's why the ROI with the 15 is going to get a lot better. And then certainly, of course, as with the fuel prices, the more that you run, the easier it gets, and so we think that it'll be a good winner to have in the long run.
Yeah, operational ROI and efficiency is important for sure, but there is value in the decarbonization, right? You mentioned we've talked a lot about fuel, renewable natural gas. I know that the State of Sustainable Fleet report that came out earlier this week noted that hey, in California, many of the fossil fuels have transitioned in renewable natural gas.
Yeah. And that's a great point that 98% of all the natural gas that is used in California today is renewable natural gas. So if you're looking at just the spectrum of saying that my sustainability goals and on how my ESG TCO looks like, this is a fantastic option to do it, and it kind of hits the right nodes, it hits the right points, and that's why from a full well-to-wheel portfolio, if we were to look at it, this makes a lot of sense today and now.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure Valvoline helped out in working with the natural gas engine too on the lubrication side, and they've done some work there and partnered with you all in that regard?
Yeah, so I think we've been blessed and fortunate on that one to say that we've had multiple partners help out on this one. Certainly Valvoline was one of the partners who helped us on the oil and the lubrication side as well. And we've had a fairly long-standing relationship with them. But then again, I mean, if you look at the Eaton Cummins transmission as well, that has been another, we would say they're a fantastic partner for us as well. And the partnership doesn't look at the component side of it. I mean, for us, we look at partnerships with our fleets, with our OEMs as well. And there's a lot of fleet users who've kind of raised their hands and said that we'd like to test the product. And we are extremely grateful to everybody who kind of volunteered to help, but we've kind of chosen a few to run the products. And the first products and the first feedback that we've got from the market on the trials that we're doing has been absolutely phenomenal. I mean, I think the engineering team has gone above and beyond in terms of delivering that. And it's just a big team effort to try and get us there. So it's our partners in the industry, it's our partners in the OEM, it's our partners like Valvoline, and we've got to thank our partners who are working internally as well. You know, our teams who've been working tirelessly on this one. for the last few years, they've done a phenomenal job.
Right. No, and we're going to go check in with one of those partners because we got David Sickles over at the Valvoline booth to talk more about the efforts there in natural gas and their sustainability efforts. Puneet, thanks for joining us. That was great. David, take it away.
Thank you, Jason.
Jason, thank you so much. I am here at the Valvoline booth with Melissa Toddy. Melissa, tell us a little bit about upping the sustainability game when it comes to things like oils or coolants.
Yeah, absolutely. So with Valvoline, you may be wondering why we're here at the Advanced Clean Transportation Expo, where there's so much talk about electrification in the marketplace, right? However, we know that there's a bridge that we have to gap, right, that we have to get to. So when we think about sustainability as a company, that's really where we've delved in with our partnerships with Cummins, for example, and also in GVI on some of these alternative fuels and how we can support that business. So more specifically, when you look at our products, we actually have our Premium Blue One Solution Gen 2, so it's a CK4 compatible product, and it is essentially fuel agnostic, so it can be used for mixed fleets as people are converting into natural gas or even continue to get into the BEV space. So this product can be used in gas, natural gas, and diesel engines.
Very nice. And I think you made a good point. A lot of times when people think of sustainable trucking, they're thinking of battery electric, but that's not always the right route for everyone right now. So, you can always decarbonize diesel as well.
Right, absolutely. And so for us, we do partner with over 40 OEMs across the globe. A good part of those are working on the battery electric platform. So we do have solutions to supply some of those fluids for heat transfer, drive system fluids, those types of products. But really, again, we're just kind of focusing on, we know, as I talked about in some of the general sessions this morning, we know it's on our doorstep, but it's not going to be a cliff, it's a journey, right? So that's really where we rely on our partnerships with Cummins and NGVI.
And so speaking of your partnership with Cummins, the X15N natural gas engine, tell us a little bit about where your partnership extends with that.
Yeah, so Valvoline's been partnering with Cummins for almost 30 years now, so we are on the cusp of all of their technology sharing, and we work with them heavily on any kind of new technology to make sure that we're supplying lubricants as their factory fill and their preferred endorsed engine oil. So we work to kind of solution for any problems they may be running into as these new platforms continue to evolve.
Excellent, excellent. And then one last question for you. I understand that you have kind of a program at Valvoline where you're able to recycle the plastic bottles. I mean, so sustainability is going beyond just the fleets themselves. Is there anything more that you can speak to as far as what you're doing at Valvoline to extend sustainability?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a lot of initiatives that we're currently working on. We have a team at Valvoline that are working on sustainability initiatives, and some of those can be anything from reducing, our recycled products, or as you said, our oil bottles that are very difficult to recycle. So we have a team that's working on that, reducing that by about 30% over the next few years. So we have a lot of force behind that, if you will. We also have some products, one specifically, Premium Blue Restore Gen 2. So this is a unique product in the industry. We call it an advanced engine cleanup in a single service. So when you think about fleets just overhauling or, getting rid of parts, having to tear down engines, that type of thing. So it's really focused on keeping those engines in the life cycle longer to get that usable life out of them.
Excellent. So, yeah. Well, Melissa, thank you so much for talking with us today. Jason, back to you.
A great look at what Valvoline is doing on the natural gas lubrication side and their holistic sustainability efforts. And speaking of natural gas, we've seen Hyliion with the ERX range extended powertrain, which uses a Cummins natural gas engine to power an electric battery powertrain. As a natural gas hybrid type solution. They're also now getting into some of the hydrogen that we've been talking about here. David Sickles has more on that. He's over at the Hyliion booth. Let's go to him.
Hey, thank you, Jason. I am here with Thomas Healy. He is the founder and CEO of Hyliion. Thomas, tell us what we're looking at here.
Yes, we're out here at ACT Expo 2023. This is the first time we are unveiling our Hypertruck Carno technology. So, as you may be aware, we have the Hypertruck ERX, which is a natural gas range extender electric truck. Yeah. We're now unveiling the Hypertruck Carno, which is a fuel agnostic vehicle. And then we also have the Hypertruck fuel cell, which is a partnership that we have with Hyliion to develop that first vehicle. So, this show for us is really about unveiling the Carno. Yeah. This is a new age technology. A lot of people come over and are like, why is the hood different and what is on the side of the vehicle? It's not anything that people have seen before.
Take a quick look?
So, to talk about how the vehicle works, so a range extender electric. So we got battery packs on the back, which is the green boxes there. Yeah. But then we have a generator that sits here and produces electricity to charge the batteries as you're driving.
Yeah. Get in here.
And then, and to give a little bit more overview on the technology, and we'll go look at some cutouts so you can see it up close, but this is a linear generator setup. So what that means is you've got a piston moving back and forth, left and right, with an electric motor in the middle that's actually capturing electricity, and that is then charging the battery. Now, a lot of people think when we explain it that way, hey, this is like an internal combustion engine, and it is not actually. And when we get to the other side of the vehicle, I'll explain all that, but take everything you know about ICE engines, internal combustion, throw them out the window, because this is actually, it's a heat generator. Now, we've got 4 cylinders here. Each one of those cylinders produces about 50 kilowatts of electricity. So in this vehicle, we have a 200 kilowatt generator. Now, if we go into like really heavy haul applications, we might need to do 6 cylinders. If we go into lighter vehicles, we might only need 3 cylinders. So that's one of the very unique things is you can scale this. Unlike you think of a normal ICE, if you want a bigger engine, you got to go redesign the block. You got to go do the heads, the pistons, all that needs like a complete tear up. This, you just add another cylinder that's identical to the one next to it.
Interesting. You mentioned it's fuel agnostic. How important is that to the development of all this?
Yeah, so we didn't design it because it was fuel agnostic. We designed it, and one of the benefits is it is fuel agnostic. So with this truck, we have both natural gas and hydrogen storage, and we can actually check that out here. So this is the fuel storage tanks. As far as I'm aware, this is a first of a kind system where it actually can store both fuels. And the reason for that is we wanted to showcase that this truly is fuel agnostic. So the truck can be driving down the road only on hydrogen, it could be running only on nat gas, or you can even do a mixture of both, and you can change it throughout the day as to what fuel's going into the generator.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
And so we'll talk about how that all works, but the other thing is it can run on a lot more than just hydrogen and nat gas. It can run on propane, ammonia, diesel fuel, gasoline. Wow, it is a truly fuel agnostic system. I think there's over 20 different fuels that it can run on. And then it's extremely quiet. Sound-wise, it's about 65 decibels when running. So we're probably at, just in this booth right now, we're probably at about 70 decibels. So this could be sitting here running and it actually wouldn't be the loudest thing in the booth.
That's interesting. Can we take a look at the front of the vehicle? You mentioned the hood.
We'll head on up to the front here. And it is a Peterbilt 579 truck. And one of the things I want to totally clarify is we are not truck makers. We don't want to be building the trucks. We think the trucks the OEMs make already today are fantastic. Fleets love them. The reason we did a redesigned hood on this is because we wanted more airflow coming through the hood in order to get more air over the radiator. Because the way a heat engine works is if you have a better cold side compared to your hot side, you're going to have better efficiency. So the cooler we can get the radiator, the more efficient the generator is.
Cool, okay. So you mentioned that you have the Carno technology on the other side of the truck here. Can you take a closer look there?
Absolutely. So for us, this is really a show that we're taking the opportunity to educate people on how this works. And so this is one of the cylinders. So on the truck you saw 4. You've got one here. You have out here would be where the fuel reaction happens. This is the heater, the chiller, and then the electric motor. And then you replicate that on the other side. So maybe this diagram is going to be the best way to kind of explain it. So what happens is you have air that comes in, fuel that comes in, and that produces heat. Now what that heat does is it heats up the piece that's normally here, or the one that you saw on the other side. And when that piece gets hot, when gas gets hot, it expands, right? So that actually causes the gas in this area to expand, and it pushes the piston down that way. Then you do the flip side on that end, and it pushes it back. Now, it's sitting there and doing that at about 1,200 RPM. So it is oscillating fast back and forth, but now it's no longer an internal combustion, it's now a external flameless oxidation producing heat to run this generator.
This is very, very cool technology. What kind of questions have you had from people visiting the booth on this kind of thing?
Yeah, so it's a lot. Most people, it takes a little while to actually wrap your head around, but a few of the things. So one, we talked about fuel agnostic. Two is increased efficiency. So indicated efficiency of this genset is right around 60%. Now, when you compare that to ICEs on this show floor, we're in a different league, right, in terms of indicated efficiency. It's a big step up, and as you're probably aware, I mean, companies will spend hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars to get percentage points of efficiency.
A slight percentage of a percentage.
Yep. So big efficiency improvement. The other thing is emissions. So since it's no longer an internal combustion, we have significantly lower NOx emissions than what a normal IC would normally have. And then also, this is still capable of running on fuels like hydrogen, right, which would not have any CO2. And then the other thing that is really kind of space age about this is a lot of the components that the generator has are actually made through additive manufacturing or 3D printing. So let's step down to the end here. If you look at this part, this external case, you could probably make that through conventional manufacturing. But then when you look on the inside here, you could not make that through a conventional manufacturing process. And I'll actually I'll steal from Josh. Can I steal your part?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So here's a example of one of the heat exchangers that's actually inside the Carno.
Okay.
And these little passageways, that could, a decade ago, that would not be able to be manufactured. It's only with this additive manufacturing technology that we can really rethink how something like this is designed and made and get much better efficiencies, but also importantly, can do it at a much smaller scale. Like, we're at about 1/4 the size of what others who have tried to do this in the past, footprint-wise, have needed to make their generators in order to get the same power.
Yeah, wow. Thomas, thank you so much for walking us through this.
Absolutely.
This is really cool technology.
Yeah, no, thanks for coming by.
Absolutely. Jason, back to you.
Thanks, David. We are back at the Cummins booth. We are talking with Jose Samperio, Vice President, General Manager, North American on-highway for Cummins. Jose, great to see you.
No, thanks for having me.
So let's kind of talk about data, right? Because all the equipment now is connected. Data plays a large part in fleet management. What role is data playing in zero emissions and decarbonization technologies?
Yeah, I think as fleets are trying to see what technologies do I adapt, the big question that they have is, how do I run? How do I operate? And then you can translate that into, if I operate this way, and these are my routes, and this is what I'm trying to do, then these particular technologies may be a better fit for me. So the role that data and digital plays in all of this is helping fleets understand a little better, how am I utilizing my assets? And then how do I match those assets with a particular technology that is best for me? So this is the place where digital plays a huge role in trying to help fleets understand what asset is best for me and what technology is best for me.
I see. So that's using the data they have on their trucks today and all the operational and location and bring that all together. Right. As they move toward like hydrogen fuel cell or battery electric, are there any data points that stand out to you that they need to look at, or does it kind of translate to what they're already doing to run operationally and efficiently?
Well, the obvious ones comes to mind is simple things as range and routes. Right. Geographically, when am I running? How often do I run? How much dwell time do I have? Do I run 600 miles a day, but on 100-mile intervals, which is completely different than running 600 miles continuously. Right. So simple things like that help to optimize, okay, if this is how I'm running, then maybe this technology is best for me. Long range, maybe I go H2 ICE. If I'm running shorter routes and it's on a circle, then maybe battery electric is better for me. So simple things like that from a route and asset utilization can make a big difference in your selection of powertrains.
Right. Well, when we talk about things, especially in the battery electric, like range anxiety, and people think they need a lot of range, but to your point, if you can really focus down on what the application is, you can feel good about getting the solution that will do the duty cycle, reduce emissions. in your role, kind of seeing all on highway in North America, how are those conversations shaking out? How do you help people get to the right technology that's going to help them decarbonize?
Yeah, I tell people, when people come and ask us a question, what technology is best for me? Or when they say, is battery electric right for me? And we tell them that's not the right question to ask.
Okay.
The right question to start with is, what are you trying to accomplish and how do you utilize your assets? And then from there you can cascade down. And like, if those are your goals from a decarbonization perspective, and you run in this particular way, then we can narrow the set of options to a narrow set, so now you can optimize for that particular set. So that's one set of things that we tell customers. Other things that we tell to customers is, don't focus on what you can't do.
Okay.
Focus on what you can do.
I like that.
And if you try hard enough, and then you ask about digital, if you try hard enough and you look at your data, I guarantee you more often than not, you'll find places where you say, you know what? I think I can find a route somewhere in Texas where it's flat, that is shorter mileage, then maybe I can find a technology. This is not true for every single fleet, but the point is focus on what you can do, not on what you can't do.
Right. And I think we're seeing that here play out at the show with some of the narratives too. It's really easy to be negative about it. Like, that'll never work, and dismiss that. But, the hard part is looking at it objectively, saying, what can I do, being positive and putting those solutions in place.
Taking step by step. You don't have to swallow the whole thing at once. You can take step by steps, and over time you look back and say, look what I built. Day by day, week by week, year by year. And over time you learn, and that's all good. That's all progress.
Right, and start the decarbonization journey today, right? You don't have to wait for it. You can start looking at it today.
That's exactly right.
Jose, great to talk to you. Thanks for taking the time.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
We're going to go catch up with David Sickles, who's over at the Shell booth. David, take it away.
Thanks, Jason. I am really excited here. I am with Dr. Selda Gunsel. She is the president of Shell Global Solutions and vice president of Global Fuels and Lubricants Technology for Shell. Tell us what we're looking at here. This really stands out at the show.
Yeah, I'm really excited to be here and to launch our next generation Starship truck. This is Starship 3.0. You may be familiar with our previous Starship trucks.
Absolutely.
We launched our first one in 2018. And our goal was to see how far we can push energy efficiency in commercial road transport by designing a truck that integrates all the technologies available to us. And since then, we have upgraded our Starship truck. This is the third generation, and it has very cool, exciting features that I'd like to share with you as we go inside.
Absolutely. I'll let you lead the way. Oh, this is so cool. I feel like I'm stepping into the Millennium Falcon or something here. So tell us a little bit about the advancements from 2.0 to 3.0.
Yes, so in our first two versions, Starship 1.0 and 2.0, we really focused on energy efficiency technologies. We tried to optimize efficiency by bringing together all the energy efficiency innovations available at that time. This included energy efficient engine design, transmission design, low friction lubricant design, improved aerodynamics for the vehicle, lightweighting materials, tires with low rolling resistance. So we integrated all these technologies under one roof. And as you know, we took our truck on the road and measured efficiency in terms of fuel mileage as well as freight ton efficiency. And we got impressive industry-leading results, which were verified by NACFE. So this third generation has all those energy efficient technologies available to us. In addition, it is actually fueled by Shell Renewable Natural Gas. Shell Renewable Natural Gas is commercially available. It has a lower carbon intensity rating than diesel. And in fact, when it's produced from dairy cow waste, it has a negative carbon intensity, meaning it takes more carbon out of the environment than it produces during combustion. And of course, I'm very excited to mention that our new Starship truck will be powered by Cummins' new X115N natural gas engine.
Absolutely.
This is also an industry-leading innovation. It's the first large-bore natural gas engine, and we are again excited about our partnership with Cummins in bringing the innovations to the sector today.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, how would you explain an engine like that, a natural gas engine. How can that help a fleet meet their sustainability goals?
Okay, well, first of all, natural gas has, as I mentioned, much lower carbon intensity than diesel. So this truck design, where we incorporate all the energy efficiency improvements plus use a renewable fuel, really improves a fleet's operations around three factors. One, efficiency improvements, lower fuel costs, lower operating costs, which translates to lower total cost of ownership. And then in addition, we have the sustainability improvements because of the lower carbon intensity. So if everything combined, I think the benefits are really clear.
Absolutely, absolutely. Would you mind if we stepped out and looked at the exterior of the truck as well?
Of course, let's do that.
You know, I almost hate to leave. This could be my living room. So let me ask you also, when you are testing this truck, what are some of those, what are you looking for on the road?
Yes, so on the road, again, learning from our previous Starship experiments, we of course measure efficiency, miles per gallon. We also look at the amount of tons carried per gallon of fuel. Yeah. But for the Starship truck with the new natural gas engine and renewable natural gas from Shell, we are actually going to use a key performance metric, which we define as the amount of goods transported in tons per kilogram of CO2 emitted. So we're going to be able to use this new metric, which we can convert to the old metric from our previous experiments, so we can compare the runs. Yes, I'm really excited about it. I also want to mention that we have designed a new low viscosity Shell Rotella engine oil that's specifically targeted for natural gas engines. So again, we are bringing a number of different innovations, integrating them under one roof. Absolutely. To show the industry what we can do today to make a difference in decarbonizing the transportation sector.
It's exciting stuff, and I'm excited to see what comes next.
Okay, well, thank you for your interest.
Absolutely. Jason, back to you.
All right, so we are here at the top of the show, at the top of the Chevron booth, second floor. We got our coffee. I'm here with Eric Neandros, CEO of GNA. Eric, cheers. Thanks for taking the time.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks for being here.
Yeah. Hey, the show's going great. Had a great time here. What are you hearing from everyone out there on the floor?
A lot of excitement. People really enjoying the show. There's a lot of buzz out there. There's a ton of people here, right? So a lot of buyers mixing it up with the sellers, and that's what we like to do at ACT Expo.
Right.
So, yeah, all good. It's
for sure. Great. You've done a great job on stage. Lots of great panels and education here.
Thank you.
You released the State of Sustainable Fleet report.
Yep.
I'm getting the sense that as this matures, especially this year too, it's no longer what if, but it's, hey, it's here to some level, and now we need to start making money and doing business on it. What are you hearing from fleets and clients as you're working with everyone to really make this a reality?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a really good comment. Up until the last few years, it's been a lot of what's coming, here's the products we're developing, we will haves. A lot of fleets, and they've got the sustainability commitments they want to do. And now, particularly, it really started last year at ACT Expo, where we started to see orders being placed, trucks now starting to be delivered. After the billions of dollars that the OEMs have invested to make this stuff, right, they want to see this start to hit scale and see real sales. And of course the fleets, they want to see that too, to hit their sustainability goals. So it's that magical combination of buyer-seller interaction. You sprinkle $30 million of federal money on top and some good things start to happen. So yeah, it's great to see. We're starting to see some real projects in the real world.
Right. Well, and it's important. I mean, you mentioned the money, but from the sound of things here too, it's going to take more. I mean, it was kind of amazing that the show started, or on the eve of the show starting, California came out with their regulations of what we're going to have to do. So, and it's cool to hear at the show that, hey, I'm only running a diesel truck or 2 diesel trucks, or in California, I've moved away from that. So seeing that reality is really great.
Yep.
Next year, we're going to Las Vegas, ACT Expo. What's the pitch? Why should we show up? What are we looking forward to?
It's going to be this, but a lot more, right? It's going to be twice the size, which we're super excited about. We've got twice the show floor, a lot of outdoor space too, so we can do some really cool things with ride and drive.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to see more trucks on the road by then. We're going to focus more next year on maintenance and technical training and making sure that this product is being taken care of now that it's out in the field. I think autonomy will be a bigger part of next year's show as well. We're hearing a lot about that this year, and so we'll kind of dial that up, maybe do some cool things around town. There's a lot of autonomy happening in Las Vegas already, so it should be a good combo, but a lot more of this, a lot more players, a lot more space, a lot more people, so can't miss it.
Yeah, stay tuned, right? Well, and it's been amazing to see it grow, to be here, to feel it, right? Every year has felt different, right? 2 years ago felt great, last year felt great, this year it feels great and different as it grows, so really cool to see.
Yeah, every year has its own sort of feel to it, but Vegas will be a little different, I'm sure. So
well,
come on out and figure out what that feel is next year.
Yeah, we look forward to next year, and thank you for the great show this year.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
There we go. Last show in the books. What an ACT Expo 2023 it was. Had a great time, learned a lot. We want to thank Cummins for hosting us here and powering this great show. Be sure to check out fleetequipmentmag.com for even more updates from our show, from the editorial team running around. Thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you next year.